Miami guard Nigel Pack back in the transfer portal in the last three seasons with Miami. Of course, was a key cog on that 2023 Final Four team. His first year with the Canes. He will be back for his sixth season of college basketball. Got a medical redshirt this past year. We only played in 9 games. It's a big reason why Miami struggled as much as they did. McCart, his let's just say his stock in college has dropped since that Final Four, as Miami has struggled, and he has got into a more prominent role and has struggled in that. Still an elite shooter. He's a career 40.3% shooter on 6.4 attempts per game over 5 seasons. So you know what he is with that.
Mm.
But if you were a coach looking at if you're going to recruit Pack or not, how would you stack up what you think he can bring you next season?
So it's interesting because I think Pack has like his strong suit is that he can score the basketball, right? Like he can shoot it, he can score it. We have seen that. He also brings a level of experience and has been in a lot of situations, seen a lot of things, has played in the Final Four. So you got to give him like that experience, that credit. Um, and obviously his shooting ability. But he is also a 6 foot non-passing playmaking guard, in my opinion. He's a 6 foot scoring guard. And
Yep.
there's somewhat of a limitation with that, depending on who you put him with. So, uh, you know, that run by Miami was so special, but and Pack was a part of that, but it was also the pieces around Pack that made that team special. Like Jordan Miller was this glue guy.
Yep.
Isaiah Wong was a star. There was a lot of stuff that went right with that team and that run that made things go. And I think that makes it look a lot better. And I think that ups Nigel Pack's status than when you actually look at kind of what he was before that.
Mhm.
And look, in the day and age of college basketball, if you can get a guy with good experience who can shoot the ball and is going to be like, I mean, I don't even know how old Nigel Pack. He's probably going to be like 20. Let's see. He's 23 right now with a May birthday. So
24.
he's going to be 24 at all next season. 25 if he plays into March. So, uh,
Still two
yeah,
years younger than Chad Baker Mazara.
yeah, that's insane, man. This really needs to stop. But I think he'll have a fair amount of suitors. Now, I don't know if the bag will be as big as it was b before or previously,
Mhm.
but I certainly think there will be a market out there for someone who can shoot like him. Maybe not, but the thing is, like, where is Nigel Pack as a basketball player? Because like he still think that he's going to be the focal piece guy? Because he could probably go somewhere and do that, but I don't think that team's going to win a lot of basketball games with all due respect.
I don't know what level that would be at either. And I don't think you go from Kansas State to Miami in a Final Four to go down a level, right?
Yeah, right.
But I also think the last 2 years have shown us that he can't be the guy on a winning team.
Mhm.
He is at his best as a secondary scoring option. He's a really, really good secondary scoring option because of his shooting and he can create some stuff off the bounce. But you do not want to rely on him to run point. You don't want
Mhm.
him to be a creator. You don't want him in charge of running the offense. You need a Isaiah Wong kind of guy next to him. If you have a secondary playmaker like Jordan Miller, that would help too, because that helps take some of, again, the playmaking duties off of him. It's not
Mhm.
a surprise that his two best seasons, his last year at Kansas State, where he averaged a career high 17.4 points per game, and the Final Four year at Miami, were also his two lowest assist totals
Mhm.
in his career. It's because he didn't have to have that responsibility, and so you saw the most impactful versions of Nigel Pack in those seasons. I think he hasn't released a list yet, so just speculation. I don't know. This would be a nightmare defensively, but I almost think you need to put him next to like an Elliot Cadeau type at Michigan, somebody who is going to pass first, somebody who's going to take all the ball handling and creative responsibilities and let you just focus on shooting and scoring. I don't think Michigan's a good fit, but that kind of like role where you slide him very easily into the number two spot and everything else is handled for him. They just need a score.
Yeah, I think that would work. But honestly, like treating him like a 6 foot two guard makes more sense in my eyes.
Yes.
And that's why, like, I know he's not gonna do it given where he's played and how he's played. But like maybe a transfer down would make sense where the size of the other players in the conference wouldn't overwhelm him as much. But yeah, the thing is, like, if you add Nigel Pack, one of the boosts that you can have as a player that if you're added in the portal is if like you can add and seamlessly just fit that guy in. Like just you fit
Right.
him in, you fill the other pieces around him, and you're good. If you add Nigel Pack to your team, there needs to be other things in place around him for
Mhm.
him to be his most effective. Now he's an Indiana kid, so maybe you look at some options there. He was a part of the 2020 recruiting class, so this was a while ago, but he committed to Kansas State over Butler, Loyola, and Nevada over a couple other schools that were in there, but those were his final schools. So I don't know. I feel like every kid that I pegged from Indiana to transfer, I peg them to transfer back to Butler, but not all these kids can go to Butler.
How would you feel about him next to Braden Smith and Fletcher Lawyer?
I think it, you know what? I wish he had more size because I think they
Yeah.
need like a bigger wing type at like next to Fletch. But maybe you bump Fletch to the three and have a backcourt of Nigel Pack. I believe Purdue was in on him before he went to Miami. So like that was rumored to happen until Miami outbagged Purdue. But I think you bring that experience and that scoring punch, I'm surely think it would help them.
Yeah, I mean, look, it worked with Lance Jones. He was what, 6'1"?
Yeah, I
But
think so.
but he was an awesome defender.
Right.
And Pack is not.
Yeah, he's just not a defender. It's just he can't defend. He can't defend. Like he's too small. He doesn't have the effort to it.
Yeah.
It's just not what he's focusing on. He's focused on scoring the basketball. But if you're Purdue, like I got Jacobson back there, I got Oscar Clough back there. Maybe I just hope on that rim protection is something that could help you. So and maybe that's what they want to. They could look
I
that way.
mean, Smith's that creator.
Hmm.
You think he loves swinging one of those cross-court passes to Nigel Pack in the corner?
100%. 100%.
Yeah. When you shoot as well as Nigel Pack does, for as long as he has and the volume that he has, he's going to have a lot of options. There'll be no shortage of those, certainly. It'll be fun to see where he ends up. Fun to see what schools end up getting involved here, but an interesting get available here in the portal.
It is March, and that means that March Madness is upon us. And if you are looking for a place to play, Underdog Fantasy has you covered. Sign up and deposit using code SLEEPERS, that's code SLEEPERS, to receive up to $1,000 in bonus credit plus a free pick. Head over to Underdog Fantasy today and use promo code SLEEPERS to take advantage of this amazing offer.